You think she gets annoyed seeing her cousin?
I think she just thinks he's a dork.
Yeah, I think so
Like,
too.
you loser.
Welcome back to DC Studio Showcase. We got a second season.
I'm so excited we're back.
I'm nerd commentator Frankey Smith.
I am pop culture pundit Jandreau.
That sounds good.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
It's very different.
Well, you guys put me behind a desk last time, so I brought the desk here. It feels good that the season 2 glow up. Like, this is nice.
And this is like a secret location that we're filming in. We have a lot of things going on, but then we're going to move to our forever home after we finish covering
You gotta
Supergirl.
renovate the Batcave sometimes. You know, you gotta dust it. There's a lot of bats. You gotta keep it clean. It's happening. We haven't seen it yet.
We haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to not just see the space, but to get through all of these episodes. We have a bunch of stuff. We're covering Supergirl, Lanterns,
Clayface. That CinemaCon footage blew my mind. It was terrible. It's like 90 seconds, and I cannot stop thinking about it.
I'm really scared to watch Clayface.
I leaned back. You know that thing when you like start watching something in 5 seconds and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be covering it like.
The whole time?
It's genuinely scary. Like, it gave me like 90s psychological thriller meets Blumhouse James Wan vibes.
Yeah.
Like picture like Andrew Kevin Walker 8mm 7 meets today's, like, it was messy.
Okay. I'll try not to vomit when
it's
I
gonna be
watch it. But
I'm recovering it.
So it's Supergirl season, and these first couple episodes, we're going to cover Supergirl. And today we have Milly Alcock.
Supergirl herself kicking off season 2. That is so exciting.
I'm very excited to meet her, to talk about being a hot girl.
She and I have a large, like, same big inspiration for why we do what we do, and I've never had that with someone. I'm really excited to talk to her.
Are you also Australian?
I am not, but I've been.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that.
Okay. Well, I wanted to start off. Now, people know me as the fanboy fighter because I normally have a hot take, and DC actually gave me a platform. So I'm going to start with a hot take here around the DC universe.
Okay.
You got to tell me if you agree or not.
I'm ready. I'm
It's a very
cautious.
hot take.
All right.
Okay? People who leave Gotham for Metropolis for a better life have no loyalty. Yeah.
All right, this is tricky because I love LA.
Yeah.
But I'm so Boston. Like, I identify as Boston. I've been in LA 16 years.
So you left from Metropolis.
This feels personal.
Yeah, it is personal.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I'm still in Gotham.
Like,
okay, I fly here.
But I go back to Gotham as much as I can.
But
like,
you
I'm
don't
literally
live
having
there.
my bachelor party in Gotham. I'm going back because that's how much it means to me. But I know immediately I'm gonna get attacked because, like, the work I do can't be done in Boston, which is kind of what you're saying about Metropolis and Gotham.
That's what I'm saying.
But, like, what would I do? Talk about comics?
Literally what I do. I fly to Metropolis. I do my work. I go back home.
Yeah, but
okay, I eat my slice.
9
I fold
jobs.
it.
That's so Gotham of me.
We all have 9 jobs.
Yeah, but I'm doing the Gotham hustle. I'm appropriating Metropolis.
Listen, I get it, okay?
I'm doing my best.
I see you get it, and we're going to talk to Milly about it, right? Because she left 2 homes to be here.
That's real.
So we're going to see how she feels about the loyalty.
I think you can still be loyal to where you come from if you rep it. Like, if you carry the energy of it, right? Like, if you moved to LA for a couple years and you still, like, represented New York, I think that's fair.
If I moved to LA and I started eating breakfast burritos instead of bacon, egg, and cheeses, I'm gone.
That's betrayal.
Nah.
So I would say,
like, once I stop dodging rats, I'm not from Gotham anymore.
It's a different vibe. Well, I don't think I can defend my honor alone because I feel like we're not going to see eye to eye on this. So please get in the comments. We want to actually bring in more comments onto the show. We want to have a lot more of you guys being part of this. So please, we're going to be in the comments. We're going to be talking back and forth, and you guys are going to have input on what we talk about. So get in those comments. We're going to be in there.
Before we bring Milly out here, let's talk about Supergirl. What was your first introduction to her?
Oh, I read stuff in the 90s with her in it, but I think the first time I really connected was there was this Michael Turner illustrated book, Superman Batman, from the early 2000s that I really, really loved. I think my favorite, though, is Woman of Tomorrow. Like, so I think the first was in the 90s, but I think when I think of her, I think Woman of Tomorrow.
Really? I was introduced to her by the Justice League Unlimited. I think it's one of the best iterations of Kara. I love the darker stories for Kara, and I do like Red Daughter. I think it's so cool to have a character that is like, what if Superman was a refugee? We always talk about he's an immigrant story, but in this case, she remembers her home.
Yeah.
She remembers what it's like, and she's actually the fish out of water. She comes to this planet. She doesn't speak the language. Her cousin's perfect. It's hard.
I think she's more approachable. I connect to that character quite a bit more than just inherently Superman. Like the idea of someone with loss and with remembering and with loss of family is so human. So
Yes.
I really love the character.
It's fine. I feel like I relate more to Superman because I grew up in New York and I'm always trying to, have a tie to my home, my country, and things like that. But my father connects more to Supergirl because he does remember like what Puerto Rico's like. He remembers those type of
Interesting.
things. And he's like, now I have to know what it's like to be a New Yorker. I'm a
Yeah.
full New Yorican. It don't matter. You know what I mean? But I love seeing that play, on the pages. And I'm excited to see it play on screen.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this story adapted, and I'm really excited to talk to her about it and how she connects because, we both have different comps, so I wonder what hers are.
And I think that Milly is perfect because every character she plays feels like it's leading up to it, right?
Yeah.
Like we saw her as Rhaenyra Targaryen and she was this royal who was given this huge responsibility and she has to almost prove herself even though she shouldn't. And I feel like that's very Kara coded.
Yeah.
And then Sirens, it's her kind of starting a new legacy. She goes to like this rich place. She's with Julianne Moore. And it's the same thing where she has this preconceived notions that are put on her and she has to kind of push through that. And I think that's very cool.
And I think the footage we've seen, I love that she brings so many layers. Like you can feel the depth of loss even when she's trying to present as like, she's being a reluctant leader. She's trying to mentor, but there's still like this heaviness to it. I think she's fantastic.
Absolutely. Now, I'm excited to talk to her about it, though.
We should talk to her.
Let's bring her out. We're here with Milly Alcock. We actually was debating before you got here. I know you've been traveling, and we were talking about the people who move from Gotham to Metropolis and whether or not they have loyalty. What are your thoughts on that?
I was arguing that I'm from Boston. I live in LA. I've been here 16 years, but I identify as Boston. I think you can stay loyal to home and be somewhere else. Like I think that's totally possible. But choose like, it's a betrayal to
I'm
Gotham.
A New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, but like New York is its own ecosystem. You know what I mean? It's its own thing. And people I think only from New York. It's kind of have that, and rightfully so. If I was from New York, I would also have that opinion.
I think there's like a borough thing,
cool.
even like the microcosm. Like the boroughs in New York, they claim there's specificity. That's what I'm saying. Like New York is
we claim them all.
Okay.
To the public, we claim all 5 boroughs. Like I'll say I'm from New York. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm from the Bronx. Like I'm not, So
I'm saying if you left Gotham for Metropolis, doesn't mean you're any less Gotham. Boston is forever my thing.
That's forever your thing. Okay. Now you're from Australia. Yeah. I saw you on a TikTok and your mother's home. Are you still there?
Yeah. No. I live in London.
Okay.
I live in London.
Do you still feel like the Australia, kind of like what we're talking about? Do you still feel like?
I think it changes.
Yeah?
I think it's you kind of become different versions of yourself depending on the place that you're in. So when I go home, I'm suddenly 15 again.
Yeah.
Which is a great feeling and also a terrible feeling.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Who wants to be 15 again?
Some of those feelings are like, oh, joy. And then you're like, what was I?
Then you're like, wait, no. I'm still Australian.
Yeah.
I've got the accent, hopefully.
I was there 10 years ago, and Newtown is one of my favorite places in the world.
I went to school there.
Is it still keep Newtown weird? Is it still like a fun little Portland?
I feel like Newtown is kind of I actually don't know. I've been home in so long.
Okay.
I've been home in so long.
But it's so special.
It's great. It's great. So I grew up in that area.
Oh, amazing.
I grew up in Petersham, which is 2 suburbs over from.
I saw it on a map. The Dendy in Newtown is one of my favorite theaters ever.
The Dendy is a great theater. The Enmore Theater is a great venue.
Yeah, that little area is amazing.
Absolutely nothing about Australia. Coy just taught me that Tasmanian devils are real because I thought they were just for the cartoon. I've never seen them. Are they big?
I think they're extinct.
Well, so there's a place, Mariah Island, off the coast of Tasmania, where they're breeding them back into population.
Yeah.
So I went there to film a movie, and there were tons of them.
Okay,
so it was really surreal because they're rare, and then all of a sudden it was an island of them.
Do they actually spin?
No, they're just
That's what
they're like little dog things.
I don't know what goes on in Australia. I'm always afraid. I feel like the animals are big and there's
some of that's propaganda, I imagine, but they're cool, different, animals.
But everyone I meet from there, you guys are always so chill and so much fun.
And speaking of, you are one of the only people I know that has the same inspiration as I do. The reason I got into the entertainment industry is Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's the main thing for me to get into the world. So I was wondering what your go-to when you watch a Heath movie. What's your favorite or the first you saw?
Ooh, probably Candy.
Oh, I love Candy.
That was shot on my street.
No way.
Yeah, that was shot on my street because that used to be a bit of a dodgy area back in the day, but now it's gentrified. So.
as things get.
Hooray, I guess.
That movie's heartbreaking. The
It's
Earth,
really,
Heaven,
yeah.
oh.
It's, yeah, so probably Candy.
Have you seen Candy?
I have, but I'm a 10 Things I Hate About You kind of girl.
Staple.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
classic.
That's got a night sale in 4K.
I knew he would be a good
Classic.
Joker straight from that. Him
Yeah.
dancing around, singing Too Good to Be True. I was like, this is Joker energy.
Heath's such an inspiration of like the versatility, the ability to transform, but also like his ability to want more for everyone. Like he brought all of his people
Yeah.
out to here. There's a little Australia in LA because all of his friends moved out here.
Yeah, he's our Diana.
Yes.
He's our Princess Diana.
He's your Princess Diana?
Yeah.
I love that though.
And another crazy little tidbit that I love is no one talks about Björk enough, and I heard
talks
that
about
was
Björk
who you wanted to play in a biopic.
Yeah.
Why Björk?
Because she's Björk. That's it. She's awesome.
She's a legend.
Cool. She's a legend.
Can you sing?
She's interesting. Absolutely not. But I just think that all biopics are I think playing a musician would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
And they could dub your voice too, right?
The magic of cinema.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
she's so enigmatic. Like I was trying to
She's
describe Björk.
amazing.
She asked me about Björk and was like, "There's no
She's
words
like
for
a
Björk."
Like
fairy.
if
Okay,
it like Florence the
Google-
Machine.
Google Björk explains television.
Okay.
And I would say,
It's like the cutest video like on planet Earth.
have you favorite album?
No.
Okay, because the second album for me, but debut is incredible.
Yeah.
Like she's just so.
She's insane.
There's no words.
There's no one like her.
So I would like, what would a biopic like? How would you want to articulate it? Like, what story would you even like? How do you even make a biopic of Björk?
I don't, I'm the actor. I just
Yeah,
say the words.
I just
There's my
love.
one.
It's above my pay grade.
I do want to talk about your interpretation of Kara.
Yeah.
Because I heard you call her a hot mess in a cape in
Yeah.
the interview. I love that. I think you and her are more of a hot girl. You know what a hot girl is?
No.
Like the difference? Hot girl was brought to us by the Megan of the Stallion.
Megan of the Stallion.
The Stallion. She's a rapper. and
yeah.
it's about, having fun, enjoying yourself, and figuring out your life in your 20s. I think
Yeah.
that's like the quintessential hot girl.
Yeah.
How do you bring that energy to Supergirl?
I think that Kara is someone who's kind of dealing and masking with like a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And she's drinking it away, she's partying it away, she's distracting herself from it. So when like her dog is at stake and that life is at stake, she's kind of given the strength to look at her own life and to like save herself in a way. Yeah.
How do you pull that out though? Like, how do you find that guidance?
I don't know. I think that like I've never struggled with that. I think all of my emotions are very on the surface. Like never had to reach really anywhere.
The second trailer, I love that it really captured that the Woman of Tomorrow comic in the layers of. There's this depth of sadness that even when she's smiling, she has like a surface of like, I've got to be presentational to a point, but also like keep Ruthie safe. Was there a moment on set when like a visual from Bilquis's artwork was like kind of driving an emotionality? Like, did you use any of that as like something to put forth here?
Yeah, I think that like, I mean, the comic book is so beautiful. Like the colors in it are stunning and the worlds that are created within it are so thoughtful. And you can like really see that. So I definitely had images of her within the comic and also the world of the comic when I would arrive on set and like see a new set, like meet the set for the first time and be like, oh, this is that world, but it's kind of a different world to that. But I think the energy and the essence is very similar.
Seeing a shade of a green sun in that just feeling like
just
you were there.
The feeling, yeah.
You feel like you connect with that fish out of water aspect of Kara?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Where did she learn English from? Do you know?
These are the questions I ask. I'm like, why is she American? How did she learn English? I assume Metropolis.
Yeah, it makes sense. And
I
where she
assume
integrate.
Metropolis is like where she learned English, and I assume that like Superman, taught her how to speak English.
I mean, her cousin would be her closest, like, that'd be your eye line.
That's the all she's got at this point.
But like a less dorky. Like you'd probably heard some words and you're like, nah, not for me. I'm not a gosh.
Do you speak Kryptonian as well in the film?
Kryptonese?
Kryptonese.
Is it Kryptonese?
Kryptonese?
Kryptonese.
Yeah. I heard, I mean,
It is. I feel like someone said that.
Craig was like touting your Kryptonese.
Kryptonese. He was calling it Kryptonian, but
Was he? Oh,
yeah, but then someone else said Kryptonese.
maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
They will
Someone
correct
will be
us
correcting
in our
all
comments.
of us right now. Don't worry, the
I
comments are
promise.
way ahead of us.
They will let you know.
Yeah.
Was that harder than Valarian?
Yes.
Yeah. What about it was difficult?
I think the content within the scene, it was really difficult. It's a very emotional scene with me and David, different David.
Krumholtz, I love that
Yeah,
mentor.
he's so
incredible.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Like the sweetest guy, the sweetest fucking guy. And bless him, he had like so much dialogue, like pages and pages, like half a page of just like a monologue in Kryptonese,
And Kryptonese?
in
The language of the Kryptonian
language.
people.
And he was really struggling on the day, and then the crew had to like draw up these cue cards and run around behind him like while we were shooting and just like move them. It was, and he also had to keep his eye line at me, and it was just like, it just was such a song and a dance, but it worked. We all rallied together.
That's really beautiful. I mean, on Superman, Marlon Brando famously just got cue cards on people's bodies to read them off. So it's an L thing.
It's the music, the movie magic we were talking about.
I mean, that's integral to making Kryptonese work. But with David Krumholtz, there's that bond you have to form. Yeah. And I love to hear like he's as warm as he comes across.
Warm.
How did you guys find like a way into that connection that's so important to the characters?
I think that David was just like such an open, generous actor. And because I'd been working against a lot of aliens, which were all like actual prosthetics, but like they don't move their faces. Yeah. So it was really difficult to kind of play because you're like, there's nothing to bounce off. So it was really exciting to have David on set and kind of have that back and forth with someone. But it's just so easy with him.
He's such a presence of paternal energy now. It's so interesting to see that.
Sweet.
Especially if we're talking about From 10 Things I Hate About You. That's such a stretch. Now, how was it connecting with the actress who plays Ruthie, Eve Ridley?
I felt very protective of Eve when we started shooting. Because it's like, it's scary. Yeah. It's a scary world to step into. It's a lot of pressure. She was so young. She still is so young. Unfortunately, she is 15.
Wow. What a life that'd be suddenly.
I know. So I think that it was very easy for us to connect. And the film kind of boils down to that relationship, and so does the book.
Yeah. That lone wolf and cub story is so unique.
Yeah, I like the hand washing.
Yeah, that scene is so special. That's like the heart on its sleeve.
Really sweet. I loved that.
Do you feel like you mentored her?
Yeah, I think so, a bit. I think so.
It would have to be aspirational. Like if you're 15 and you're working with someone who's playing Supergirl.
We would just want to be like, okay, don't make the same mistakes I did. Like that's what I wish someone told me.
I run into Matt Smith all the time. I love Matt Smith.
House of the Dragon?
Yeah, co-stars. Yeah. Matt is someone who I'm always impressed by. He kind of takes people on under their wing.
Yeah.
Did you have like any sort of like moments with him about like, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah, I mean, I've bumped into Matt a few times because we both live in London.
Yeah.
And like every time I see him, it's such a welcoming, he's so welcoming and he's so lovely and he's so warm and he's funny.
And pearls of wisdom out of nowhere. He'll just say something, you're like, that is so quotable.
Yeah.
So what was the most fun you've had on set?
Every day is a fun day. Every day is like incredibly different and wonderful and wacky and difficult, but there's like this satisfaction in how hard it is.
Yeah.
Did you feel that from the stunts as well? Like I imagine like physically competing, something you watch a previs, you see like, how is this gonna happen? What was that like to wrap some of the, like the bus stuff we just saw at CinemaCon? That was incredible.
The bus was a journey. The bus was a journey because they incorporated that old boy cut with the crane so that was like, we'd already shot the bus scene, already shot the stunt element of the bus scene. That took us like 5 days, I think, to shoot. It was a long time.
Wow.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Well, the Z-axis use.
So
like
much
you're going
parts.
towards and out of camera.
It was such a narrow space. There were so many extras. God bless these extras being in like 5 hours of hair and makeup and then getting like kind of wheeled around here and there, very hot. So yeah, we had to, at the end of the day, the crew and the stunt team were so fabulous and they re-coordinated that whole section and we like churned it out in like 2 hours.
Wow.
Just that shot though.
This is the most physical you've been in a role, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I loved you in Sirens. I felt like very emotional, but to me, the closest to Supergirl.
Yeah.
Like, having that pressure of, having your family and just living out of legacy, I really felt your character in that.
Yeah.
And we were talking, I work with basically Superman so every day. And so it's very difficult sometimes to kind of find yourself. And I'm really excited to see, because I feel like between Kara and Rhaenyra, you're always like trying to find your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the psychology of that, I think, is what makes Superman more interesting, is that Kara is such an eyeline. Like, I connect to Kara so much more, especially in Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That character makes sense to me. Like going through stuff and it affecting you, I can totally connect more with being like a Boy Scout. Like, I've never...
Yeah, people connect with flawed people. It makes us feel less alone. It makes us, you know, be able to kind of connect with other people.
And she, to me, makes the context of Clark more relevant to today's society because, like, overcoming perseverance and then that making his not having the connection to Krypton a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And I love that you went through so much loss to understand that dynamic.
Yeah.
All the things with Argo City in the comic broke my heart, and we see little flashes of that.
We see a bit. We get a bit of it in the movie.
Did you have any mental like eye lines for your emotionality? Like, do you think of your family? Do you think of like home, or do you just have to separate?
No, I'm not that kind of actor. I don't take the feeling out of the context of what I'm doing. You just create this world within your head, and this person is real.
Yeah.
You know, and you just believe it, and you're like, I don't know, you just believe it, basically.
Yeah, you find it?
You're like, I am Kara of Krypton.
Yeah, you just believe the given circumstance when you play it.
It's the question everyone asks, but with a little bit of a twist to it. I know everyone asks about the first suit up. I know everybody asks about putting on the costume. But to me, there's something about the symbol itself, the sigil, that is so unique to Superman and Supergirl because that represents home. That represents like something that connects them to everything they are.
Yeah.
When you connected to the sigil, did you feel a different connection to Kara, or was there an image that made you, as someone that just found the truth in themselves, like was there an iconography that you were like, this feels like who I want to represent as a hero?
For Kara, the suit, it's a complicated relationship.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, yippee, I'm strong enough. I'm going to fight evil or like whatever. I think that it's really painful and it's really uncomfortable because she doesn't want to be a hero.
Yeah.
She doesn't because she can barely save herself, you know? And we kind of go on that journey with her, and I think she's battling with herself a lot. And I think maybe by the end of the movie she finds that, but not until like the very end. But I think she's fighting with it.
Because it kind of represents loss. Like when I think of her sigil, it's not like...
It's not, she doesn't want to look at that. She wants to avoid it.
It doesn't stand for hope. Like it's like, what have I...
Absolutely not.
You think she gets annoyed seeing her cousin?
I think she just thinks he's a dork.
Yeah, I think so
Like,
too.
you loser.
Yeah, and lost her dog the second he got it.
That beat was so, I thought it was so genius that it's your dog and meeting you at the end and having you be your just self. And that gives all the context to Krypto.
Yeah.
And finding out that he's been babysitting, that sets your movie up in such a genius way that doesn't feel like a sequel.
Yeah.
When you watch that in theaters and knowing what you know about One of Tomorrow and having filmed, what was it like to be like, I've now got my introduction and I know what my world is from this jumping on point? Was that a surreal, like, out of me experience?
Yeah. It was just like, oh, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, real. Like it's real now.
This is real now. This is happening.
We've talked about David Krumholtz. David Corenswet also has that warmth and that enigmatic paternal wisdom.
Yeah.
Did you have any conversations with him in the transition from, like, you just wrapped Superman. You had to take on all of this responsibility. Did he give any pearls of wisdom being super? Fair.
He was like, we're gonna be in action figures. And I was like,
such a puppy.
Very cool. Have you seen the action figure?
I did.
Is it cool?
The bird's pretty crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
How did your mom feel when she heard?
She just like squealed and cried at the same time. I was like, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, no, she's just so incredibly proud.
That's so cool. She's always been supportive.
Yeah.
Like to have someone to support you and then to reach the height of it, I think is awesome.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us
Really,
today.
I haven't gotten to talk about Heath Ledger, Björk in years. That just warmed my heart.
I'm so glad.
Like, and
I'm
let's
so
get that
happy.
Björk biopic.
100%. I don't know if she would.
Oh, I don't. She would never sign. Like.
Oh no, we tried to get her song in.
Oh really? Oh, that's.
And they were like,
not a
You
thing.
thought,
they were like, nah.
Bjorn?
Björk.
Bjork?
Björk. B-J-O-R-K.
No, just think of Björk.
Bjork.
Björk.
Like New York,
There
but
you go.
Björk.
Wow. Thank you. What is the song I should listen to?
It's oh so quiet.
Oh.
Next time I see you, which will probably be soon, I'll tell you. If
I want a
heard it.
rendition.
You want a full? I'll sing it.
No, you don't have to do that.
And the Modest Mouse Needle Drop made me
joking.
happy.
Yeah.
That was Heath Ledger's last directorial thing. He directed a Modest Mouse video. So it all comes back.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much for
Thank
caring about
you.
Kara. I
Thanks,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
also, I heard your birthday just passed.
Yeah.
We have something for you.
Dramatic silence.
It's a gift.
Oh, thank you.
We heard that you put chili oil on your ice cream.
I did.
Put it on.
Logama!
Yeah. To break the monotony of a day of press.
I haven't had Logama in forever.
See, and now you have some, and then a bunch of snacks.
Oh, thank you.
Kids through
Thanks,
the
guys.
day.
Yes.
This is so lovely.
The team got it. We're also excited to have you, and we love you as Supergirl.
Thank
we
you.
Cannot wait to.
We didn't want to butter you up before the interview. We wanted to be like, and by the way, this wasn't a bribe.
Yeah.
It's an after gift.
I like your thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for caring about
Thank
Kara so
you.
much. It is so apparent.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Man, she was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how passionate she is about the things that she like loves.
You
Like, I felt
connected
that.
with her on a lot of stuff.
I don't talk to many people that are like, I'm inspired by Heath Ledger. I love Björk. Like, these are very specific things.
Well, I didn't even know how to say Björk until
And
today.
now you will.
That's my first lesson, like phonetic lesson of
She
the season.
guided you through Björk.
Yes, it's
Episode
way
1.
easier than Skylar Gisando.
Skylar
is-
was here to help. Björk's not
Yeah.
even here to defend herself.
I'm very surprised to see how cool and calm she is.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how that's going to translate to her being, the hot mess she says she is.
I really like that she has such this is who I am. This is what I want to do with this information. Like, there's often with people taking on superhero roles, a certain amount of like soundbite. And hit this, and she just is like, this is how I feel. Like one of the questions I asked, she was like, nope, and I was like, that's honest.
Just straight, yeah.
And that's Kara.
She is no nonsense in the best way. She's like, I'm here to work. This is how I feel. There's no fluff. And I
Yeah.
really
Did David
enjoy
Corenswet
that.
give you advice? No. I can see many people
No.
being like, he told me, and like I like the honesty, and I like that she just is herself.
Well, I love the themes that of found family and just hearing her talk about, how she felt on set. So I want to take a second for us to give some recommendations.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I am going with a classic because you brought up Matt Smith earlier.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon. Now, it is not very family friendly in terms of like the family doesn't fuck with each other and then there's not really much found family. But it is about family.
All right.
And Milly Alcock is incredible in it. It's, I think, her breakout role. And there are dragons in it,
Yep.
which is very Supergirl coded. I
With the title,
think.
there better be.
There better be. They have a lot of fun with like incorporating fantasy with like medieval type of looks. And I don't know. I love the first season. I think she's great. And I definitely recommend if you guys haven't seen it to watch it. Game of Thrones is cooking right now.
I'm gonna, 2 quick ones, but it relates. If we're talking medieval, we're talking dragons, we're talking beautiful wardrobe, we're talking found family, we're talking A Knight's Tale.
I knew it!
A
Yes.
Knight's Tale.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's A Knight's Tale is the movie that made me want to do anything in the entertainment industry. It's so inspiring, and it's like such a beautiful found family story of all these people. I almost got Change Your Stars tattooed on me. Like, Change Your
What?
Stars means
I'm
so much to
so
me.
shocked you didn't bring it up to her. I was waiting, and I was like, I'm not
I didn't
gonna
want it to all
say
be a whole Heath Ledger interview.
That's true. Right?
Like,
It's not even about
I could do
it,
15 on Heath easy,
Yeah.
but Change Your Stars is kind of like my whole idea, and I think that also ties into your question. Leaving Lowell, Massachusetts, coming out to LA, changed my stars. So A Knight's Tale, I definitely recommend. Also, her recommendation of Candy. That's the first time I have ever talked to anyone that they brought up Candy. That it wasn't me going like, I've got 5 copies on DVD, borrow one. Like,
Please take
I
one,
literally
yeah.
have 5 copies at all times. Like, I let people borrow Candy, and I expect maybe not to get it back.
DVDs?
Yeah.
What do you play a DVD on?
A DVD player. That's the name.
You have one in your house?
I have a Blu-ray player, a 4K
You
player,
guys,
a
we're
DVD
filming
player.
this in 2026. I don't have a DVD. Does it play on my PlayStation 5?
Yeah. But there are better 4K players than a PS5. The quality of picture and sound is on a 4K player second to none. I just got Knight's Tale in 4K. It's like being there.
Okay. Well, let
Anyway,
me borrow
Knight's Tale
one.
and Candy. I cannot believe. I'll let you borrow a copy of Candy.
Thank you. Next episode, we have Lobo himself,
Yes.
Jason Momoa, coming up. I'm so excited to see him, to meet him.
I cannot wait to talk bikes with Momoa.
And I can't wait to hear what you all think. Be sure to follow us. Tell us what your thoughts are in our comments. Hit us up on DC Official. Like we said, if you have any thoughts on the hot take, we may read them out on here.
Also, thoughts on today's interview. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Kara. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stuff. And if you watched one of our recommendations.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for those of you at home, you can follow us individually. My name is Fantastic Frankey, Frankey.
And I'm Coy Jandreau on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those places.
Yeah, and show us some love. Be sure to rate us very high on Spotify, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, and give us the opportunity to keep on doing cool things like
Season
this.
3, Season 4, Season 5.
Season 20.
Until we're 90.
Yeah. We're interviewing the grandchild.
Yeah, they're like,
of
so
David
you're the
Corenswet."
42nd Superman actor.
Well, thank you all for joining us. This is the DC Studios Showcase, and we'll see you next time.
This was an OBB sound production for HBO, hosted by me, Coy Jandreau, and Frankie Smith. Executive producer for HBO is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for DC Studios are Gary Barbosa and Philip Soponides. Executive producers for DC are Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. Executive producers for OBB are Michael Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO is Aaron Kelly. Producer for OBB, Toby Lawless. Research producer, Sam Harrison. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Production coordinator, Terry Kraft. Associate producer, Sam Harrison. Talent booker, Aaron Bandler. Editor, Adam Grabarnik. Post-production supervisor, Mariana Chrysostoma. Assistant editor, Mark Alcacid. Production accountant, Bobby Hanna and Zachary Steinberg. Director of photography, Heath Gresham. First assistant camera and camera operator, Chris Piper. Key grip, Sam Satosky. Production designer, Liz Klikowski. Art director, Michelle Hull. Sound mixer and editor, Josh Falcon. On-set mixer, Darren Bowling. Hair and makeup artist, Kendall Shannon. Production assistant, Max Jordan. Senior director, creative development and social strategy, Lenore Castro. Manager, creative development and social strategy, Sharif Bakari. Special thanks to graphics and artwork, HBO Max Concept and Design Studio. Special thanks to illustrations by Ariel Cologne.